The bottom line is that man is filled with contradictions. We as human beings are filled with contradictions. What do I mean by that? For example, it says when the Jewish people, there's a Shmos Rabbah, a midrash that says that when the Jewish people received the Torah, on the first day, already they started to sin. Can you believe such a thing? The midrash says like this. The midrash says, at least when people go out on a trip, so the first day, the second day, they start going in the right direction. The third day, they're still going in the direction. If they get lost, so again, by the third day, maybe they start to deviate, they start to get lost. But you, Hashem said to the Jewish people, you on the first day, even you were saying Nasiv Nishma, you were still thinking about doing Avodah Zarah. A contradiction. The person is in front of Hashem and he's receiving the Torah, and he's still on the side thinking about Avodah Zarah. Another example. Rav Papa says in Gemara in Brachos, Rav Papa says that even a Ganav prays that Hashem should help him to steal. Right? The guy has a big plan tomorrow morning. It's 4 in the morning. He's going to go and rip off that house. And he prays to Hashem, help me steal. Contradiction. Right? Rabbi Akiva, there's another Gemara that says the Gemara in Kedushin. It says that Rabbi Akiva was making fun of people that were sinning. He says, I don't understand these sinners. What are they doing, you know? Came all of a sudden, the Yetzer Hara appeared to him as a woman in the top of a palm tree. He starts climbing up the palm tree. This is Rabbi Akiva. This is Rabbi Akiva, and the Satan says back to him, he says, if it wasn't for the fact that the Shemaim said to me, be careful, Rabbi Akiva and his learning, so you would have sinned also. You see, you're not such a big shot. Rabbi Akiva, we're talking about the greatest of the great, and they still have contradictions. They still have a desire to sin. I mean, isn't it clear, Rabbi Akiva, that he shouldn't be doing such a thing? The answer is man's filled with contradiction. So the Meiri explains in introduction to Avos. He says, why is it possible that Jewish people can do idol worship? Isn't it clear to them that there's God? I mean, what are you worshiping? The sun and the moon and the stars and stones? He says the nature of man is to believe in what's tangible and not what's in abstract. Our teva, our nature is we believe in what we see, and that's it. And you start talking conceptually, we understand, but when it comes, push comes to shove, the feelings and the senses are going to overtake the intelligence. That's the rule. So since that's true, what are we going to do about that? Well, Rabbi Yitzchak Salanter said that the tachlis, the purpose of Musar means taking a verse, one verse from the Torah, one verse that has meaning to you, and learning it over and over and over again till it penetrates to the subconscious, into the feelings. He says the tachlis of Musar is to get the heart to feel what the mind knows. The mind knows right and wrong. The mind understands it, but the heart doesn't feel it. It doesn't penetrate the heart. There's two separate entities. The Rabbeinu Abaki explains that the only way that the heart can understand what the mind is talking about is through a mashal. A mashal means how do you say a mashal? A parable. In other words, if I say fire, that I understand. But until I say fire, it's like two different languages. The heart speaks one language and the mind speaks a different language. You have to get it to penetrate the heart. So Rav Dessler says, since this is true, we have a big problem on our hands. What's our problem? Our problem is all the things that are great to us become tests for us. Why? He says like this. He brings a pasuk from Hoshaya. It says, the tzaddik uses the Torah and progresses with it, and the rebel comes to fail. What does he mean by that? The Torah itself could be Sam Chayim or Sam Mavis. The Torah can be life or it can be death. How can it be death? Because on one side, listen, we got the Torah, it's great. But if you do the Torah, you don't do it in the right way, and you're weak, and then you can turn away from God. The Torah can turn you off. The Torah, people don't learn the Torah properly. They come to sin. They can come to do all kinds of bad things. They can say, the heck with the Torah. So one time, the Radessa brings that the Torah could be a test. Eretz Yisrael also has tremendous kedusha and holiness. But that kedusha and holiness, when you sin, it's worse. You're sinning in the palace of the king. What's the Chazal says? It's like a guy defecates in the palace of the king. You're sitting in Eretz Yisrael. Also, Yom Kippur itself. He says Yom Kippur can be a tremendous test. You're doing nividui, meanwhile you're doing good, and then all of a sudden you start like, well, okay, I'm sorry, Hashem, I did this, your mind's wandering and this and that. Here you are in front of Hashem, telling him you're sorry, and you're goofing off. Because it's like not serious to you. Well, okay, I know Hashem's somewhere in the Shemayim, I know he's up there some way, but I don't see him and I don't feel him, so we have a big problem on our hands, so what are we going to do?